Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Rich Lucido. Today, we're gonna talk about the era, technology, political, and the historical in this era. Today, Richman Bayang will tell us the era of Emilio Aguinaldo.
Good day everyone. My name is Michiman Bayang. Today I will discuss about Emilio Aguinaldo and the major issues connected to his leadership. Emilio Aguinaldo was the first president of the Philippines and a key leader during the Philippines Revolution against Spain. However, his leadership was marked by serious controversies. And one of the most debated issues was the execution of the Andres Bonifacio in 1897. Bonifacio, the founder of the Katipunan, was arrested and tried and executed under Aguinaldo's revolutionary government. Many historians believe the trial was unfair and politically motivated, and which caused division among Filipino revolutionaries during critical time in the fight for independence. And another major issue was the Pact of Biak na Bato, in which Aguinaldo agreed to a ceasefire with Spain and went into exile in exchange for money and promised reform. Critics argue that his decision weakened the revolution and delayed the country's vote of independence. And my next is Manuel L. Quezon, the first president of the Philippines Commonwealth. Quezon played a major role preparing the Philippines for self-government, but his presidency was also marked by controversies. One issue was his strong control of political power, which some critics considered authoritarian. He was accused of favoritism and patronage, giving important government position to allies, which caused dissatisfaction among some sectors. Another controversial issue was his support for the Tidings-McDuffie Act, which set a 10-year transition period for independence, while it promised eventual freedom. It also allowed continued American influence over the Philippines, which some saw as compromise on true sovereignty. Despite these challenges, Quezon implemented important reform, including establishing the national language and promoting social welfare programs. His presidency laid the foundation for the Philippine eventual independence while highlighting the balance between leadership and controversy.
So, thank you, Mr. Bayang. And the next reporter is Richman Simon.
Good day everyone, I'm Mishman Simon, and today I will report the two important Philippines presidents during the World War II and the post-war period. Jose P. Laurel and Sergio Osmeña. Understanding their leadership helped us see how the Philippines survived one of the most difficult moments in its history. So, during the World War II, the Philippines was invaded and occupied by Japan. In 1943, Jose P. Laurel became the president under a Japanese-sponsored government. This government was known as a puppet government. So, because Japan controlled its major decision, only the President Laurel's rule was very limited, and the country didn't have the independence. Many Filipinos lost basic freedoms such as freedom of speech and live in constant fear. It also life during Laurel's era was extremely difficult. Food shortage were severe. Price of goods increased rapidly. and my family and many families suffered from hunger, farms, factories, and transportation system. Um, some Filipinos were forced into the labor, while others joined the resistance. Laurel believed that the cooperation with Japan might lessen the suffering of the people. But his presidency remains controversial because it happened under foreign control, and his era clearly shows that the hardship of war and occupation. At the same time, another Philippines government existed outside the country. In 1944, after the death of President Manuel Quezon, Sergio Osmeña became president of the Philippines government in exile, which was recognized by the United States and the Allied force. His leadership focused on liberating the Philippines and restoring democracy. After Japan's defeat in 1945, Osmeña returned to the Philippines and became the full president. However, the nation was left devastated. The cities like Manila were in ruins. The economy was weak, and government resources were very limited. Osmeña's main challenge was rebuilding the country, restoring government institutions, and helping people recover from the effects of war. Despite these challenges, Osmeña helped prepare the Philippines for the full independence, which was finally achieved in 1946. His era represents recovery, rebuilding, and hope after years of suffering. In conclusion, Laurel's presidency reflects the pain and loss of freedom during Japanese occupation, while Osmeña's leadership symbolized restoration, recovery, and return of democracy. Together, their eras shows the resilience of the Philippines people in overcoming and rebuilding the nation. That's all.
Thank you, Midshipman Simon. And the next reporter is Midshipman Canales. He will discuss the two presidents of the Philippines.
I'm Midshipman Canales and I will discuss the Elpidio Quirino and Ramon Magsaysay political issues during their term. Elpidio Quirino was the sixth president of the Philippines during 1948 and 1953. The first political issues was the Hukbalahap Rebellion, and Hukbalahap is known as Hukbong Bayan Laban sa Hapon. The Huks were former anti-Japanese fighters who demanded land reform and better resources and better treatment for farmers. Under Quirino, government relief relies mostly on military, which made the conflict worse at first. Is corruption and governance. Quirino's administration was criticized for underspread corruption, nepotism, and misuse of public funds. The weakened public trust in the government. Economic issues during Elpidio Quirino's term is the post-war recovery. The country was still rebuilding after World War II. Industries, farms, and cities were damaged, leading to slow the economic recovery. Is the technological and social issues. Public health and education. Some efforts were made to improve healthcare and education, but progress was slow due to lack of funds. Is the inflation and poverty. Prices of basic goods were high, while wages remained low. Many Filipinos lived in poverty. Centered leadership. He made Malacanang open to the public, symbolizing transparent and accessible leadership. Overall, Magsaysay's presidency is remembered for a period of honest leadership, social reform, and strengthened democracy, especially compared to the previous administration. Thank you. The economical issues during Magsaysay's term. Agrarian reform. He supported farmers through the Land Reform Act and the creation of the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration, which is NARA, which gave land to landless farmers. The seventh president, which was Ramon Magsaysay during year 1953 till 1957.
for the political issues, restoring trust in government. Magsaysay was known as the champion of the masses. He promoted honesty, simplicity, and open communication with the people. Social issues during Magsaysay's term. The improved military services. The armed forces were modernized and trained to respect civilians. The next is infrastructure projects. More roads, bridges, and community facilities were built, especially in provinces. Development. It was focused on improving rural areas through roads, irrigation, and agricultural support. And last, pro-people economy. Policies aim to reduce inequality and support small farmers rather than the elites. Political issues is the solution to the Balahap Rebellion. Instead of pure military action, Magsaysay combined force with social reforms, offering land, jobs, and amnesty to rebels for surrender.
Thank you, Midshipman Canales. And our next reporter is Midshipman Canibas.
One of the most controversial issues during Carlos P. Garcia's presidency in 1957 to 1961 was the First Filipino Policy, which prioritized Filipino citizens and businesses over foreign investors in the use of natural resources and economic opportunities. Supporters praised the policy for promoting economic nationalism, protecting local industries, and reducing foreign economic dominance. However, critics argued that it discouraged foreign investments, slowed economic growth, and benefited political allies who controlled local businesses. The policy also heightened the tensions with the United States, particularly in relation to the Laurel-Langley Agreement, which granted economic privileges to Americans in the Philippines. And next is during Diosdado Macapagal's presidency in 1961 to 1965. Several issues became controversial despite his image as a reformist leader. One major controversy was the control program, which removed government controls on foreign exchange and imports. While supporters said it promoted free enterprise and corrected economic distortions, critics argued that it caused peso devaluation, raising prices of basic goods, and hardship for ordinary Filipinos. And another significant issue was the Agricultural Land Reform Code. Although it aimed to end shared tenancy and redistribute land to farmers, the program faced a strong resistance from powerful landowners and suffered from weak implementation, limited funding, and legal loopholes, resulting in minimal real impact for many farmers. And Macapagal was also criticized for corruption allegations involving his administration, contradicting his campaign promise of clean governance. Additionally, his decision to officially change the celebration of Philippine independence from July 4 to June 12 stirred debate, though it was later recognized as an important assertion of national identity.
Thank you, Midshipman Canibas. And our next reporter is Midshipman Bacaro.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmate. This is POTC Bacaro Kurt Andre F. ID number 1250095. This is my report for the eras of presidentials. This is Gloria Macapagal Arroyo era of 2001 and 2010. Ito po yung mga issue na nangyari nung umupo si President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Ang unang issue is political issues. Yung mga issue dito is sa pandaraya ng halalan. Noong 2005, lumabas ang mga audio records na umano'y nagpapakita na nakailam si Pangulong Arroyo sa resulta ng halalan noong 2004. Dahil dito, nawalan ng tiwala ang maraming mamamayan, gobyerno na nagkaroon ng malaking protesta. At ilang beses siyang isinilalim sa impeachment. Pangalawang na kaganapan sa political issue ay kawalan ng katatagan ng politika. Ito yung maraming tangkang kodita, rally at impeachment na naganap sa kanyang termino. At nagdulot ito ng kaguluhan sa pamahalaan na nakaapekto ng tiwala sa namumunuan at mamamayan. Tapos, ang issue technological naman, nung umupo si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, President, hindi pantay ang access ng teknolohiya. So, bale, habang umaanlad yung teknolohiya ng lungsod, nahuli naman yung teknolohiya ng sa probinsya, tulad ng internet, computer at modernong pasilidad. Sila yung hindi nakakatanggap ng parang tulong sa pamahalaan. At ito yung naging hadlang ng edukasyon, negosyo at komunikasyon sa mga kanayunan. Isa pang problema ng teknolohiya ay yung sinubukan ng pamahalaan na gawing mabago ang sistema ng halalan. Ngunit maraming teknikal na problema, kakulungan at transparency nagdulot ng pagduda ng publiko at kredibilidad ng eleksyon. Nawalan sila ng tiwala sa botohan. Isyong pang-ekonomiya. Mataas na kahirapan at kawalan ng trabaho. Kahit may sinabing paglago ng ekonomiya, marami pa rin Pilipino ang mahirap at kulang ng disenteng trabaho. Hindi pantay ang pagkinabang, paglago at ang ekonomiya at lahat ng sektor. Tapos, pangalawang example nito ay pagtaas ng buwis at utang ng bansa. Ito yung tinatawag nilang IBAT law. Pinapatupad ang Expanded Value Add Tax upang mabawasan ang utang ng bansa. Ngunit, tumaas ang presyo ng bilihin kaya mas nahirapan ang mahihirap na pamilya. Ayun lang po. Thank you. Ito naman ang issue na ganap kay Pangulong Benigno Ninoy Aquino. Ang isyong pampolitika o political issues. Diktadorya at batas militar. Noong idineklara ang batas militar noong 1972 ni Ferdinand Marcos Sr. na suspindi ang demokrasya, si Ninoy Aquino ay kinulong bilang pangunahing kritiko ng gobyerno na simbolo ng kawalan ng kalayaan sa politika. At ito pa ay paglabag sa karapatang pantao. Maraming aktivista, mamamahayag at kalaban ng gobyerno ang inaresto, tinorture o pinatahimik. Ang pagkakakulong ng kalaunang pagpaslang kay Ninoy Benigno Aquino Sr. noong 1983 ay naging malinaw na halimbawa ng politikal na panunupil. At ito naman ang isyong technological issue. Kontrol nila ang gobyerno sa media at teknolohiya. Mahigpit ang kontrol ng pamahalaan sa radyo, telebisyon at pamahayagan. Ginamit ang teknolohiya hindi para malayang impormasyon kundi para sa propaganda ng Estado. Kakulangan ng modernasyon, hindi naging prioridad ng pagbawang teknolohiya sa edukasyon at industriya. Nahuli ang bansa sa teknolohiya na kaunlaran kumpara sa ibang bansa sa Asia dahil sa maling pamahahala. Isyong pang-ekonomiya o economical issue. Malubhang kahirapan at hindi pantay na kaunlaran. Yumaman ang ilang malalapit na kapangyarihan habang naghihirap ang nakaramihan. Lumaki ang agwat ng mayayaman at mahirap sa panahon ng diktadorya. Ang pangalawang example nito ay pagkabaon ng utang ng panlabas. Malaki ang hiniram ng gobyerno mula sa ibang bansa para sa proyektong ito. Dahil sa katiwalaan, maling paggamit ng pondo, nalubog sa utang ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Noong panahon ni Ninoy Aquino ay panahon ng matinding krisis sa demokrasya. Kanyang pagkakulong at pagpaslang ng nalantad na abuloy ng diktadorya, kahinaan ng ekonomiya at maling paggamit ng teknolohiya at kapangyarihan ng kanyang kamatayan ang naging mitsa sa pagkaisa ng mamamayan na umantong ng People's Power Revolution.
Thank you, Midshipman Bacaro. And our last reporter is Miss Midshipman Albania.
Good day everyone, I am Midshipman Ken Gabriel P. Albania. So today we will discuss the political issues during the leadership of Rodrigo Roa Duterte and Sergio Osmeña, two Philippines from president from different eras. So first is Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Serves as a president of the Philippines from 2016 to 2022. One of the biggest political issue during his administration was the war on drugs. Thousands of suspected drugs user and pusher will kill during police operation. This raised serious concern about human rights and extrajudicial killing. Many international organizational criticize the government and the International Criminal Court began an investigation. So, nung time ni Rodrigo Duterte, ang political issue niya is yung war on drugs. Dito lahat ng mga users, lahat ng mga may kaso na droga is pinapatay niya. So, other issues was press freedom. Media companies like ABS-CBN were shut down. And journalists were often criticized by President. This created fear about the freedom of speech and democracy. So lastly, Duterte leadership style was considered the authoritarian, as he used strong language and threat against critics. So this is the first political issue is Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
And that's all. Thank you for watching.